Good afternoon, Abbotsford residents. I'm Mr. Pelican. I'm running for Mayor of Abbotsford, and the first thing I'm going to do, the number one thing, is bring the RCMP into Abbotsford, and we're going to forensic audit the city on jobs that were fast-tracked, collaborating, racketeering, but also what was done in the municipal election to block. We're going to do that. All over Facebook and YouTube on my channel, people have been commented of how I'm going to remove the Abbotsford Police. I'm not going to wait and let you know how I'm going to do it as mayor. In the next couple of days, I'm going to do a video showing you why and how that's going to be done very quickly and very easily. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about what's best for Abbotsford and what was being halted under Abbotsford, where it was loading Henry Brown's pockets, Rob Funk's pockets, and we saw what happened on this 30-story tower by Quantum Projects, and why Henry Brown had to block that election to load Ross to keep these jobs going. That's a given now. We all know that's a given. We all know what Ross's whole goal is for Henry Braun. And we know Henry Braun's pumping Ross up and the establishment's holding him, just like Darren Braun said. I'm on UFV's property here in the Fraser Valley. This is where Dave Sadu and Andy Sadu, the Chancellor, blocked me and had me removed, and had the UFV threatened me so they could halt me to load Ross Siemens. UFV security and UFV itself apologized to me and said, we never did that. That was Andy Sadu and Dave Sadu that did that. I believe they took measures, and because I don't think Andy Sadu's the Chancellor no more. But I wanted more measures, and we'll take that. But what am I doing here? I'm talking about what's taking place in Abbotsford on our job sites, fast-tracking our job sites, and economic drivers that are not in Abbotsford. You know, Abbotsford, there's a shortage of housing all across the province. There's a shortage of trades all across the province. What took place here in Abbotsford is these special projects like this with Henry Braun and Ron Funk have our trades all tied up on nurse projects. And the city of Abbotsford is only focused on Ron Funk's job sites and Henry Brown's projects and nobody else's. So what would I do as mayor? What I would do as mayor, the first thing I will do is lobby for BCIT to come in on ag land and set up a trade school to start training electricians, plumbers, tile layers, all kinds of trades that are very short of. And all these people, when they got to go for their tickets and their second in their red car, in their permits and all this stuff, they have to go to Burnaby, to BCIT and sit schools. There's such a shortage of that. We need to bring a trade school in here. As mayor, this will create small businesses, because a lot of them electricians own their small businesses. They're self-employed. A lot of the tile guys are self-employed. A lot of the plumbers are self-employed. A lot of the carpet guys are all self-employed. All the framers are self-employed. But there's no trade school here. That would require for BCIT, as me as mayor, to bring them in and create a boom through the Fraser Valley. The first BCIT in Abbotsford, BC. That will help Mission, that will help Chilliwack, that will help Hope, that will help everybody, and we need that. It's long overdue to help our trades get up. All our trades right now in this city is focused only on Henry Braun stuff and narrowing. We're going to change that. When we start in forensic audit and investigating with the RCMP, which you can see the downturn right now in Abbotsford. You don't see Henry appearing anywhere in the newspaper anymore. You don't see Vicky Hopes mentioning him. You don't see any Ross Siemens taking a picture with Abbotsford Police. You don't see nothing. They were in too deep when Darren Brown told. The problem is, how many people suffered? How many people were threatened? How many people had false charges against them because they were going to come forward? How many never ran into loudmouth Darren Braun's mouth to tell what his dad was doing? So Henry Brown thought he was this rich businessman of Abbotsford, setting up his elite establishment to own the Fraser Valley, and his stuff came first, and Abbotsford could go all, you know what, where the sun don't shine. So the first thing I would do, I made it clear, is a forensic audit. And not only that, this will help train police officers here. You could go to school here and become. But I'm going to lobby for BCIT to come in and open up a trade school, which there is a massive shortage. And as mayor, I'll lobby the federal government to help BCIT and the provincial government to help that, because this is what's slowing down the housing market. It's not that the houses can't be built. That's not a far-fetched thing. You can frame them houses in weeks. I've been in that all my life. All my life I've built high-rises. I made it clear for Bruno Wall, Peter Wall. I made it clear for Aquilini, Mike Dakota. I built the Pinnacle North Shore for Mike Dakota. Built them towers over there with Mike. That's not it. As project manager, I'm telling you, what's every day is your task and frustration is chasing your trades, and there's not enough of them. The electrician decided he's not driving in today, and now you're short electricians. And that is a massive shortage of electricians. And then plumbers. And you're tracing these trades, and there's not enough. And you're at the mercies of these trades because there's not enough of them. You can't pick up the phone like you can a tow truck and say, just send me another tow truck, and it's done. We need to open a trade school here in Abbotsford, right here on ag land, creating jobs, bringing revenue and massive revenue in. And that will help the Fraser Valley, and it'll help the housing market, and it'll help the shortage that's there. And this is what we need. We need them trades, and we need them in these schools. And we don't need these trades sitting for 3-4 hours when, well, electricians are out. A lot of these young electricians I run to on job sites, they're going back to school to get their second year, and they're going to drive into Burnaby. They're sitting in this traffic. They're going in and out. They can come here, attend this school, and still go back to work for the electricians. So we need BCIT landed in Abbotsford. This is what your mayor's supposed to be doing, to help the young youth, to create jobs, to create this, to help small businesses and everything. Ross Siemens ain't doing nothing. He's just hiding. If I can keep holding on for Henry Braun, in the next couple of days, I'm going to do a video in front of the Abbotsford Police, and I'm going to outline my specialty of why I want to remove the Abbotsford Police. Why them men have broke the values of Abbotsford's Trust. In the next couple of days, we're going to do that. So today I'm live here at BCIT, and we need to have BCIT here in Abbotsford beside UFV. And that's what we need here on UFV's property in the Fraser Valley. We need to have a BCIT right here for all our trades. And we need to have that for all our trades and all our small businesses, and that will help the shortage of housing. That will speed it up. And here in Abbotsford, that's not happening. Rob Funk's projects with Henry Braun, the CEO of Diverse, is all coming first. You can see that, the Cacaro Ranch. You can see the newspaper old site. You can see the one by the hospital. And now Marcus's Dalvis's 30-story tower without environmental studies. Abbotsford First passed that all through. I'm showing you step by step what we're going to do to boost Abbotsford's economy, help our trades. Then I'm going to show you politics, what I'm going to do. And I'm going to just end today's podcast because I got so many requests on Facebook and YouTube about this. What am I going to do as a mayor? I need a slate. Let me tell you about a slate, what I need as a council. When Abbotsford residents were pushed against the wall, I saw an unbelievable bunch of people step forward that weren't politicians. One of them was Rianne Gasper for the BC Conservatives over in Mission. Another one was Corky. She said she got tired of sitting on the sidelines where the establishment was always running. Guy like Henry Brown, he's retired as mayor, but he's still running the city. The new mayor ain't got his ideas, he don't got focus. And they wiped out the establishment. I believe when it's time for that mayorship run, I will see new councils. I will see people like Barty Sandhu and maybe all the other councillors that are run. We have to remove that old council that was there, that establishment that was tied to Henry, that awarded these jobs. This is a prime example of this illegal job. Them councils were run by Marcus Dalvis. Marcus Dalvis paid Abbotsford First. He helped run that campaign. He helped Dave Sadu, and he helped Ross Siemens. And now Marcus is going to get a 30-story tower from Quantum Projects. So to answer that in politics, a lot of people will step forward at the last day, like we saw Corky Neufeld, Rianne Gasper, and said, we're tired. I can be a voice and make a decision. How'd that happen? What made Fraser Valley of Abbotsford turn on fire? Bruce Banman. Bruce Banman was the sole engine, and I'll make it clear, of no longer becoming the mayor when Henry was jacking him and framing him and doing all these little scandals with the Abbotsford News, he decided to run for an MLA position, changing the outcome of Abbotsford residents to be voices, and said, we can make a difference. I'm asking, and I'm going to be interviewing councillors that are going to be running. Our goal here in Abbotsford is to help Abbotsford residents open the city, stop this and forensic audit, go after these jobs that were stealing Abbotsford tax funds, go and remove Abbotsford city engineers and these people that have been feeding out of the trough. That we need the RCMP, and we'll forensic audit them, and we're going to see how big their retirement checks are and everything else and how they're holding on. And we'll go after them. That is my pledge. A promise to you, I will keep that promise. That promise will be kept 100%, and that will be done by the best man that do investigations and have investigations teams that can do it. That will be the RCMP. But for our young youth, this will be front and center on my mayor campaign to get BCIT into Abbotsford, get these young trades up, let's get them open. I know I spent all my life in there. I know these young trades, they like to get going and then they like to create their own businesses, and you can see it. There's such a shortage of it. Why is there such a shortage of these small businesses? Because these big jobs in Vancouver are saying to these young little small businesses, listen, we'll pay you more. Just forget it, because they're on a deadline to get them high-rises finished. So we need to create these small little businesses, electricians and plumbers and everything, and get them up and running. And that will be done here if we bring a BCIT here in Abbotsford. And that's what we need, and we need it to come here by UFV, and we need it here. I'm live, ladies and gentlemen, here at UFV here in Abbotsford, British Columbia.